Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Tuesday evening introduction to Lifewave and X39, the star of the show. My name is Robin Blank Mascari. I'm very happy to be with you and share a little bit about who we are as a company. Many of you may be checking us out for the very first time. So know that what we're going to do this evening is do an overview, a little history of the company. We're going to talk about our technology. We're going to share a little bit about our owner and inventor David Schmidt, and bring on a special guest. And this evening we have Dr. Barbara. Everybody loves our doctors. It's so wonderful. We are so blessed to have such incredible talent and wisdom to share with you. And then we turn things over to you. And you can share your testimonials. Remember, raise your hand and we'll call on you from there. And if you have a question, you can put it in the chat. And just a brief reminder, we are not here to treat, diagnose, or cure any kind of dis-ease. We're a natural products company. We talk about symptoms only. And we appreciate you being compliant with us because we do have this recorded, and we are here to make a difference in people's lives and transform your experience of living in this human body and have it get better and better and better. So let's jump in and let's see here. So let me start out with talking a little bit about the company. Lifewave is a very special company. Back in, let's see, 2018, I got introduced to it through a friend because I was about doing research to actually have a stem cell injection. And I got this call that said there's a major breakthrough. It's activating your own stem cells using light. And I went, how fast can I get it? Because I was ready to pay $12,500. And he also shared with us what had happened to his business since this one new product came out. It's a 16-year-old company. It got founded in 2004 by David Schmidt. The technology got created a little bit earlier than that on a government contract. David had a government contract to create a product for the Navy SEALs. Sometimes they have to be in their mini subs. Those are individual subs where they're by themselves and they have to stay awake literally for days on end. And they wanted something where they wouldn't have to use any chemicals or stimulants. And the very first product was born. It was called Energy Enhancer. And that product not only did what they wanted to do, but it did a lot of other things. And then 9/11 happened, and the government changed its focus away from survival equipment to other things. And David was looking for how to market this and really chose to market it through relationships, because network marketing, relationship marketing, multi-level marketing is the best vehicle to bring a cutting-edge product to market. And in 2001, Lifewave was born. The company basically has had 3 different phases. And in the first phase, it was really all about symptoms. So for the Navy SEALs, it was energy. Well, what happened was, one day, David Schmidt got a call from Richard Quick, who was the women's Olympic swim coach. And he said to David, 6 of my 8 swimmers did their personal best, which is truly extraordinary, with something that is non-transdermal, nothing going into the body. And people started seeing these swimmers wearing patches on them, and all kinds of controversy happened, lots of media coverage. They ended up testing them. There's nothing going in the body. So then this very exciting time happened where athletes all over the world started enjoying the enhanced strength and stamina and performance that was supplied by accessing 500 calories of body fat, creating incredible energy and enhancing their performance, and also decreasing their recovery rate. And so that patch has been very beloved by many, many people around the world. Well, David's an inventor. He actually has over 100 patents and patent pendings to his name. And the next thing is he realized that there was some actually pain relief benefits from this patch. And just so you know, the patch looks like this. It's about the size of a quarter, and it kind of looks like a Band-Aid, but it's very powerful. Don't let a size and shape deceive you for what is possible in doing. And so the first phase of the energy enhancer, and then David made some tweaks in the formula, and the Ice Wave patch was born. That's our pain patch. And the vast majority get instant or rapid pain relief from that. People just love that patch because they kind of are a bit shocked that something so simple can work so quickly, so safely and affordably. And then Sleep Patch came out, and actually some of the hospitals in Europe use this patch for instead of sleep medication, which is very exciting. So that's phase one. And then phase two, David's always looking at, what's next, what's next, what's next. And he started the anti-aging phase. And 3 patches were born in that phase. The Y-Age system of carnosine, glutathione, and eon came about. And we're not going to get into talking about all the other patches this evening, but just want to give you a brief history of the company. Then after that, for the last 10 plus years, David has been researching regenerative science. Excuse me, I got a little something tickling me. Regenerative science, and he made history. In 2019, he called it his best accomplishment to date. And notice that to date, because there's more coming, and he's going to share more with us in a few weeks. So what was born was the X39 patch. It was introduced to the field experimentally in 2018 and launched to the world in 2019. This patch is called X39. We call it our stem cell activation patch, but it does much, much, much more. So we do invite everyone to do your own research on the copper peptide GHK-Cu. That's a copper peptide that has been activated with this very specific frequency. And we're going to talk about the technology in just a minute. And amazing things happened to the point that the company from 2018 to 2019 tripled in sales. And from 2019 to 2020, I believe we doubled again. So this one product has completely changed the company. It's changed my life. I mean, I came on board because I had knee pain. I was bone on bone and was trying to avoid surgery. Put the patch like this right here. And a week later, the pain in my knee was gone. Like, go figure. I didn't understand it. All I knew is that it was working, and I couldn't not share it. And one thing led to another. So that's why we're all here tonight, is to learn about what it is. And a little bit about our founder and inventor, David Schmidt. Like I mentioned, he's a scientist. And Gregory likes to say, a lot of company owners, they want the bigger boat, the bigger house. And with all the money that they're making from their companies, David, he wants to invest more in research. As a company, we have now over 100 clinical studies. They're not all published yet. I believe we have 80 published, but we have 100 clinical studies on the technology, which is very exciting. So in a minute, I'm going to bring on Dr. Barbara, and she's going to talk about that technology. But David is an inventor. He's a scientist. He's also our CEO. He is a very fascinating combination of acumen that he's able to manage and run a multinational business. We're in over 75 countries. We have 14 distribution centers right now, and we've been operating seamlessly all over the world and in many different languages. So if you know people in other places, there's a good chance that we can help them out. Okay, so now what I want to do is bring the star of the show up to front, and I want to bring on our special guest tonight, and that's Dr. Barbara. She is a chiropractor out of Colorado with a specialty in functional medicine, and she had her own health challenges, and from that, it really changed her life. She's first and foremost a mom. She's got a husband and 7 children, ages 10 to 27. They've probably grown since when I wrote this, well, maybe a little bit. Lives in Fort Collins, has a Colorado, and has a practice there. She loves working with people who are struggling with autoimmune and thyroid issues, and is really able to help make a big difference. She also has taught Nia technique since 2001, and anyone who's ever done Nia loves it. It's a fusion of dance, martial arts, yoga, in a mind-body fitness format. But Barbara became involved in Lifewave back in September of 2019. So the patch hadn't been around all that long, and we love having her as part of our team here. So Dr. Barbara, you want to join us? There she is. Hi.
Hello.
It's always a treat to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be with you.
Yes, and I love reading about you, and I always, every time I read it, it's like, I want to learn more. So, and you were a classical pianist also before you became a chiropractor, huh?
Yes, that is my undergraduate degree.
Oh my goodness. Are you still playing?
For fun. Yes.
Oh, good. For fun. That's good to do things for fun. So, as we get started here, I know that as a chiropractor, as a healthcare practitioner, you get bombarded with people sharing the best, the latest products out there. What is it that made you interested enough to take a serious look at the LifeWave technology, Dr. Barbara?
Well, Michelle is the one who told me about X39, and the word was stem cells and natural and activate my own. That's what really piqued my interest. Um, there are a lot of doctors, friends of mine, who do stem cell injections in their practices, and they make lots and lots of money doing that. I never really wanted to do that. I don't like injecting things in general. I stay away from needles. But I know what stem cells can do, and so the idea that there was a way to increase stem cells in a totally natural way, and not only that, but with light. I was really very interested and then very excited.
Okay, so you're open enough, which we have thousands of practitioners with LifeWave, and they're the ones that are really open. So I love quoting Dr. Nicholas. He says, the technology and the products enhance the clinical outcome of working with patients and clients. So that's very exciting. So let's, I know some of us know what stem cells are, but I don't think everybody does. So before we jump into talking about the patches, would you just do a little brief definition of what is a stem cell? Why is this so exciting? Why is this the future of medicine?
Yes, actually, I've explained this 3 times already today to different people. Okay, so stem cells, I think the easiest way to explain and understand it is that they're basically a baby cell. They're the first beginning of a cell, and that cell has not been assigned a type of cell to become yet. It has yet to be assigned a body part or a tissue to become. So it can become almost anything. And the reason that's so exciting is because, well, number one, as we age, we have fewer and fewer. We use them up and we make fewer of them. So by age 60, 65, we only have 10 or 15% left. And if you don't have stem cells to repair and regenerate your body and heal things, then you're not going to heal as quickly. You're not going to regenerate. You're going to age faster. Many signs of aging, from tiredness, loss of energy, to poor sleep. It's a very long list. All of those things start to catch up with you faster and faster and faster. So stem cell, it can become almost anything that your body needs it to. And I love the idea that we can increase that population. We can increase the number of available stem cells, and our body will use them in the way it wants to. And the type of healthcare I like to practice is really trusting and believing in the human body and the innate intelligence that we have to adapt and to repair and heal. And stem cells just give us more tools to be able to do that.
Beautiful. We're starting to cut out a little
Was there
bit.
another part of the question? Answer yes.
You're cutting out just a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
I'm not sure what to do about that. So stem cells start out, I think.
Sorry.
Okay, there you are. I think that you sound better now. Okay, good. So they're part of our body's immune system. They help repair, and like you were saying, the older we are, the less we have, the faster we age, the slower we heal. It's like when you have little kids, you've got a lot of kids, you watch them heal so fast you can't even believe it, and they don't scar or anything, they just heal. But as we get older, it changes. So it's really important as an aspect of it, experiencing quality of life and feeling good. So let's move into the technology. So we know that this product that's the star of the show, this simple little thing, activates our own younger stem cells and makes more, but it does it through this technology called photobiomodulation. And I love the way you explain it. Could you please share with our audience what that means?
Yeah. So, am I still cutting out?
A little bit.
You can still hear me okay?
Now I can.
Okay. Sorry, I don't know why it might be cutting out. Okay. So photobiomodulation, it's really 3 words combined together in one. Photo meaning light, bio meaning biology or your body, modulation is change. So technology, photobiomodulation, is using light to change your physiology, your biology. And humans, we are very sensitive to light. There's a whole diagnosis just for people who don't have enough light. The seasonal affective disorder, right? But we're very sensitive to light. Light in our eyes. When the sun rises, it activates our get up and go, our wake up chemistry. And at dusk, and when the sun is setting, it activates our slowing down chemistry and getting ready to sleep and starting to make melatonin for sleep. So with photobiomodulation in these patches, what David Schmidt was able to do is, well, he took the concept of light affecting our skin, causing biochemical changes, physiological changes. So the easiest to understand examples are sunlight on your skin causes your skin to then make vitamin D or make melanin, so you get a suntan. And so these little patches, they seem so humble and unassuming, but the power they have by reflecting, even it's our body heat, right? That infrared light back into our skin at special frequencies to cause a biochemical change in our skin. And this X39 causes our body to produce more of the GHK copper peptide. And as we say every time, that's something that everyone should Google. To Google GHK copper peptide or GHK-Cu, Cu being short for copper, and see what the many benefits of that peptide are all by itself. So we get all of the blessings of that peptide, but the secondary effect is when we make more of that, it triggers our body to make more of our own stem cells.
Beautiful.
So I love this so much because it's using light, the most natural thing in the universe, to stimulate our bodies to do what they can already do naturally by their own normal pathways.
Beautiful.
Nothing fake in any step here.
Totally natural, non-transdermal, safe for everybody. How wonderful, using our own body heat to cause a biochemical change. There's no
Right.
vitamin D in the sun, but our body makes it. And you said something really beautiful, is that our body is the masterpiece. You know, we're giving our body what it needs to do the miracle that it is. And so
Mhm.
we're not injecting anything. We're just helping the body um, come to a state of homeostasis. So we've got photobiomodulation. And several years ago, photobiomodulation, as David would say, our founder says, you know, people thought it was snake oil, even though it's been around forever. But now there are thousands and thousands of studies validating it as a real science. And light therapy has become very popular. So how would you, you know, what makes X39 so special?
Uh, Several things make it special. Number one, that it's safe for almost everybody. There are very few people who could not, cannot, or should not use it. Um, you can't hurt yourself with it. And the fact that it increases two profound uh, healing effects, the copper peptide and the stem cells. There's really nothing else that can do that. Unless you want to fast for a long time, you can increase your stem cells a little bit that way.
I love it. I love it.
I
So
tell people you've got three choices for activating or for getting more stem cells. You can have expensive injections with, you know, a 60% effective rate. You can fast a lot. That's really cheap, but it's not very fun. Or you can use X39 patches.
I love it. I love it. So this simple product that is so easy, could you explain a little bit about how to maximize the effectiveness of this product? How long do you use it? What's important in our lifestyle to make sure it's effective? And is there anything we shouldn't do?
Right. So three things. The amount of time, because it's reflecting light back into your skin, and often we're placing it on an acupuncture point. So that light is actually stimulating that acupuncture point. And your body doesn't do well with constant stimulation. It's important for it to have a break. So we wear it for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. Second, there are two other things. Number one, it's really important to be well hydrated. So drinking enough water, having enough trace minerals in your diet to be a well hydrated body, very important. And number two, you need to have enough copper in your body so your body can make that copper peptide. Because if the copper peptide isn't made, it cannot then in turn activate the stem cell production.
Okay.
So,
How much is enough copper, and how do we find out about that?
well, about 2.5 grams. Um, so actually what I tell people, the very best way is to just Google foods high in copper. And I was going to do that for this. I forgot. If you just Google foods high in copper and print that out, write it down, whatever, just use those foods in your diet. Just
Okay.
make them regular menu items in your diet. That's the best way. That's the way our bodies are designed to get trace minerals.
Okay.
If you're deficient, you know, you can always get a blood test to find out what your levels are. But if you're deficient, then then you can supplement. But that supplement should not be copper element all by itself, because that's not safe for your brain. It should be copper chelate, copper bisglycinate, copper something, copper bound to another molecule. That's a much safer way to have it in a multivitamin.
Okay. So in our chat, we're hearing 2.5 milligrams of copper glycinate, according to David Schmidt. That's what he likes. So you inferred
Yes,
that it's good for almost everyone. Could you just help us understand who is probably not a good candidate for using
right.
X39?
Yes, so because of the great support it is for our bodies and supporting the immune system, We don't want to have people who've received organ transplants use it because they are on immunosuppressive drugs, and we don't want their immune system to start rejecting their new organ. So those people shouldn't use it. People who are undergoing chemotherapy treatment should not use it, although they can use it as soon as that treatment is over.
Good.
And it's not tested in pregnant women.
Okay. It's, I don't know too many pregnant women that would want to be a guinea pig and try something. Not very
Right.
smart. So it's safe for everyone, not recommended for people that are any kind of immunosuppressant medications. No one's ever been hurt, which is very exciting. And how long does it take for someone, and then we're going to open up for some questions here. How long does it take for someone to notice?
Oh, I think the number's about 80% of people will notice an effect, usually a positive effect. They'll feel better in some way, whether it's less pain or um, more energy or better sense of well-being. Some positive change within hours to days. For me, already being a pretty healthy person, I notice feeling better after 5 days. Some people, I gave it to one of my friends who was in a lot of pain, and she noticed a reduction in pain within a half an hour. So it's
It
every
varies from
person's
person
going
to
to be a
person,
little,
and we never
yeah,
know, do we?
we never know. So I tell people it could be an hour, it could be 3 months, and anywhere in between.
So that's
But
why we recommend people try it for 90 days before you make a decision, because it's always working, right?
it's always working. It may or may not be noticeable, right? The wisdom of your body is going to decide what it wants to do with stem cells first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and you may or may not sense uh, what's happening, but it is working, right? You stay hydrated, eat foods with copper in it, and it'll be working.
I want to share that Jim and Victoria said foods high in copper: seafood, lobster, shrimp, crab, swordfish, mushrooms, tofu, sweet potatoes, sesame seeds, cashews, chickpeas, salmon, dark chocolate, yum, at least 70% cacao or higher,
Mm-hmm.
avocados. So those are good
Yep,
ideas. I
yep.
think
I think asparagus is on that list too.
there's many, many more. So doing your own research on that is great. So we have a question from, I think this is from Jet, from the United Emirates, says, what is recommended for a 7-year-old with a yellowish skin and eye symptoms?
Yellowish skin and eyes would make me think of the liver. So on a 7-year-old, um, if speaking, there are probably other things that you want to do with your doctor, but in using these patches, um, I do we want to talk about other patches?
That's fine. That's fine. We keep the
Okay.
main focus, but if there's in a situation like this, if you think it would make a difference, go for it.
Okay. All right. So there's three that I would use, or at least try. And with a 7-year-old, a 7-year-old body may not be ready for a whole full 12 hours of any of these patches. So keep an eye on how they feel. So the X39, obviously, for the stem cells, they're going to be drawn to areas of inflammation and damage and go to work repairing. I would also use the glutathione patch. You could even put that right over the child's liver on the right side, and the Eon patch. The Eon
Mhm.
patch it helps with reducing inflammation and stress,
Great.
and that's a pretty powerful trio right there. Those three.
Well, that's kind of the trio of what I've learned for just about everything.
It's hard
And
to go wrong. Yeah.
it's wonderful. So we have a few interesting questions. One is, could a breastfeeding mom use X39, and is after pregnancy okay, after the baby's born?
I think yes, absolutely.
Okay, and what
Yes.
about breastfeeding?
I personally, I don't see any problem with that
Great.
because
Great.
it's on you. It's on the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So just a note on pregnancy. Nothing is tested on pregnant women, right? So by saying something is not tested on pregnant women doesn't mean it's horrible or dangerous. It just means it's not tested on pregnant women because no one is willing to take that kind of a risk.
that makes total sense. And so Ernestine is saying, under what circumstances would I use a half a patch by removing half the backing?
Well, that's not really how it works. Uh, the patch will work through the paper. So whether you have all the paper or half the paper off, you're still using all the patch and getting all the benefit. So the having half the backing removable at a time is great if you don't want to use all 12 hours of a patch at once, or if you think you might want to move it.
Great.
But yeah, but the paper backing does not block the
I,
light.
I think that's wonderful for everyone to know that the adhesive backing has nothing to do with the patch. You can never use a half a patch. It's a whole patch or nothing. And
Right.
and they are activated when they're 3 to 6 inches from the body. So if you do want to move it around, it's a convenience thing. So that's
Yeah.
great. That's wonderful. Um, let's see here. We have Anne Marie is asking, can we put a sleep patch on a 1-year-old who does not sleep well and wakes up at night a lot?
Um, the rule of thumb is to not use patches unless the child can communicate to you. The sleep patch itself, I would be, I personally, I would probably try the Eon patch first and know that you're not going to keep it on the child uh, all night. I would maybe leave it on for 1 hour and see how they respond. The sleep patch. So what I really like about the sleep patch, again, all of these patches, it activates the body to do what it's already supposed to do, already what it can do in its natural pathways. So, Robin, unless you know something I don't, I think it would be okay to try the sleep patch on a child, but I would just be careful about how much time.
Yeah, typically when people have sleep challenges, it's kind of nice to find out why they have
Hmm.
sleep, because we do have several patches that help us sleep, and we don't have time to get into that this evening. So you might want to visit with your practitioner and kind of dig a little deeper to find out what's really going on with the child that's having a hard time, with sleep. So let's see, we have Jay says, this must be the night for pregnancy. My wife is pregnant and I'm afraid to use the patches on her, even as she has some back pain. How would you respond to that?
Oh, well, um, so are you thinking of using the Ice Wave patch for back pain on?
Uh,
Is my question.
Probably, probably. And I mean, I'll actually take a stab at that one because I
No,
have
you first.
I have some experience with that one.
Okay.
One of our friends was pregnant and had back pain, and I checked in with someone who's very experienced, a doctor, and we know that there's no harm. And she did use the Ice Wave. It's very common for pregnant women. And again, the company will always say no because they don't test on pregnant women. It's a personal choice. We know there's nothing going in the body, but you always have to make that decision on your own. Nobody from the outside can tell you what's best for you. I can just share that our friend did use it, and Dr. Nicholas recommended fine, but not to be putting right here, because this spot, which is a very powerful spot, can actually induce labor unless you're ready to induce labor. But that is one of the headache places. And she got great relief by putting the ice wave on her back. So again, you have to decide. No one's ever been hurt. We don't test on pregnant women. It's a personal choice.
Right. And it is just light.
It's just light. It's
It's
just
just
light.
light.
Okay.
So the sun has, all frequencies of light.
Great.
So my default is it safe for her to go out in the sun? It,
There you go.
it is your personal choice. But if it were me, can I say that?
That's a great thing.
All right. If it were me, I would use the patches.
I think that comes
No,
highly
not
respected.
on this point. Don't put it
Right.
there.
Not on that point. Okay, we got one more. Let's see here. Well, I think are you up for two more quick questions?
Yep.
My son has an infection and a little bit swollen, an eye infection. What would you recommend?
For an eye infection, uh, well, the X39 is, how old is this son?
Doesn't say. It's from Marissa. Maybe she
Okay.
can write it in there.
So the X39 we know is going to support the immune system. So it's hard to go wrong with X39. The glutathione can also support the immune system and support detoxification or removal of toxins and stuff. Whenever you have an infection, your immune system is having a battle. And after a battle, there's always dead bodies to clean up. So they might be bacteria bodies, but they're still there and they still need to be cleaned up by your lymphatic system and your blood and your liver and your gut. So supporting all of that. If it's really swollen and you have a lot of inflammation, you might try the Eon patch for that.
Great. It's a little bit swollen. Ian is so amazing for swelling. Just, it's like almost instant for a lot of people. Okay, last one for tonight. We have Steph, he's with us on Facebook Live from the Philippines, and he wants to know what patches are recommended for a 7-year-old with a weak heart.
So 7-year-old with a weak heart, I would probably start with the X39 in smaller increments of time.
Great.
Maybe between 2 and 4 hours at a time, and Eon, the Eon patch. It helps. It supports your nervous system. So that's why we say it's good for stress, but really it's helping your nervous system adapt to stress.
Yeah.
And I would start with those two.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Barbara.
Wait. And carnosine. Sorry.
And carnosine. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely carnosine.
Carnosine is for muscles, isn't it?
It
Helping
is.
strengthen muscles and repair muscles. That's
Yep.
a lot. It's kind of like the what do they call it? The stepchild that, it doesn't get the attention, but is so powerful and so amazing. And
Yeah.
David Schmidt has a wonderful, several actually product conversations on carnosine about the heart and the brain, and it does amazing things for the eyes. So there's so many things, but our main focus here is X39, and it is a star of the show, but it's foundational for everything because it's so comprehensive. So I want to thank you, Dr. Barbara, for being with us this evening. As always, I always take notes, and I get to learn every time we get to visit together, and what a contribution to our community. And for those of you that are brand new to Lifewave, please get back to the person that invited you. We invite you to get started. The patches come with a guarantee. We have a wonderful customer program. And if you're the kind of person who likes to share, I started as a customer, but then I couldn't not share. And now thousands and thousands of people all over the world have had their lives changed because of my sore knee. So you just never know whose life you're going to touch. So thank you everyone for joining us this evening, whether you're live on Facebook, live with us, or watching our recording. We really appreciate you. And at this time, we'll complete our call. So good evening, everybody.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye bye, everyone.